Hey guys, a lot of you asked on my room tour video to see a more in-depth look at my organization. So I thought I'd kind of walk you through. We'll start with this large shelf. If you saw my walk through my room tour, then you already know I got this from my cousin. And it has been such a blessing. It's so amazing to have all of these cubbies. So the first one here is like old writing papers, old composition notebooks. Let me see if I can open it up. So these are all, ones that are kind of naturally aged. And those are all in that first one. I also have a music or piano player roll that I've already started to cut up. So I kind of have it separate from my new rolls so that I don't have like 20 that are kind of cut. This next little section is little booklets and things, paperback little booklets, all authentic vintage ephemera. Again, I like to keep these separate so they're easy to find, especially if I'm doing kits and stuff. A lot of times I'll throw one of those in with a hardback book. These are all flashcards. And also these really cool old gas cards. How cool are those? Gas tax cards. So they would have gone in like the gravity fed pumps so that you would know your tax. So yeah, a bunch of, there are some playing cards in here too, but for the most part, these are just flashcards. These are all loose papers that have either been sent to me, some large pictures. Sorry, my arm was in the way. Some large pictures, but for the most part, these are just loose pages that aren't in books that I've either taken out or they've been sent. This next one is more ephemera pieces, so like single sheets, a lot of like commencement papers. There's a high school diploma. This one down here is an old wedding or marriage certificate. This was a promotion letter for the United States Army. So there's that. Then we'll come down here. So this down here is all ledger paper. That's what all of these are. So I can grab those quick. These are projects that I've kind of done but haven't done videos on. So I stick them here. There's a few jars in the back just because I didn't know what to do with them, but that's what that is. These are really old books that I like to use pages from. So like this one is falling apart. But I love the paper. So, and then some old income tax records. This is a farm record book. I don't remember what that is, but it's an old, yeah, you can see. So there's that. And then these down here were a project that I started but never really finished. So these are all envelopes. So I can keep all those together. These are all flowers, and I am like stocked full of flowers because I went to Hobby Lobby, and they were on clearance. So, woohoo! That's what those are. This is just kind of random storage. So, in this little thing down here are all paper clips and binder clips and things like that. And then I have this jar of the really large paper clips. Then down here, these are all playing cards. So I keep all those together. Oh, and those are bingo cards in the very back. But yeah, most of this is just playing cards. These are all my fasteners. So eyelets, all kinds of eyelets, brads. That's what these are different containers of brads and eyelets. So all of that is together. These are all tags. So if I have extra scrap paper, I'll just make tags and throw them in here. These are embellishments. So I've got some, bows, some Tim Holtz, those mirrored watches and things, and a bunch of other kind of bags and Tim Holtz metal. Let me grab some, like these things and the metal tabs that he Here's the book plates. So those kind of metal embellishments. This is just kind of a random. So these are a couple of projects that I had done. Some of the Tim Holtz Ideology tissue paper, a 9-pocket letter thing. It's just kind of stuck in there. And then this one is like, I love these old scrapbooks because the paper is just beautiful. So I stick, this is old paper that's just plain. So when I take apart a book and it has, you know, like the end pages, I'll stick the end pages in here because they're typically plain. Scrapbook paper's plain. This is an old drawing pad that's really nicely colored, so that's in here. So these are just plain papers that have some age to them still. We'll come back up here. These are all my rubber stamps. I wish I had a better way to store these so that I could see them a little better, but they're in there and they're all together. I know where they are, so it works. This is kind of a hodgepodge, really. Stamp cleaner thing. It does have all of my kits that have stamps and dies together. Like this back here is a punch with a stamp that matches. So, you know, those are all in here, as well as stencils. And these are just extra tubes of washi. I'll show you my washi on my desk in a minute, but these are just extras. This is my little Tim Holtz sidekick. The cutting plates that go with it, and some embossing folders in the back. This is everything for my Spellbinders Platinum, so I keep all of the stuff up here. And if you want a tip, instead of using the top cutting plate, use a craft mat. So you would put the die upside down so it cuts into the self-healing craft mat. And then your cutting plates don't get bent on the top or warped. So, and then these are all dies in these folders and stuff here. This is all markers. This is full of markers. I have some watercolor markers and then, you know, some Tombow and whatnot. These are all watercolor pencils. And this is the cord for my light pad, if I ever need it, which is down here. This is all watercolor paper. I do Let's Make Art with my mom. And we love Let's Make Art. They send you projects every month with all the supplies, paint, and everything that you would need. So this is where all the watercolor paper is, more watercolor supplies, paintbrushes, my butcher tray, the acrylic thing that I mount it to. This next one is colored pencils. I keep these down here because my kids like to come down, and instead of them getting my good supplies, they can play with these colored pencils. So, and I also stuck the napkins. I got these, they were sent to me. I don't do a whole lot with napkins. I know a lot of people love to decoupage and stuff with napkins, and I just never do. So those were sent to me, so I stuck them in there until I decide to use them. These are more markers and washi because I can't help myself, but I don't have anywhere else to put it. So it's supposed to be just markers, but it's not right now because it has washi tape in the front. This section are beads. And I just got these punches. If you saw my Instagram story, or not my story, but my Instagram post, I just got these 3 punches, and they don't fit in the drawer that I have, so I stuck them here for now. But all of those containers are small beads. Let me sit this down. And then, like, all of the fasteners and stuff. I actually got these containers from the dollar store in, what aisle is it down? Like where all the light bulbs and Velcro and like home maintenance type of stuff is. It wasn't like a tackle box, and it's not in the craft section. But yeah, I love these. For $1, they're great. So there's that. Let me stick these punches back up here. Next one down is just colored cardstock. Nothing too special there. Or my gold. But yeah, this is all colored cardstock. These are all kind of paper and paper pads that aren't 6x6, 8.5 by 11, or 12 by 12. So like the 6x8 paper pads, these are what, 4.5 by 6.5 paper pads. These are those wallpaper papers from Tim Holtz. All that's up here. So there's those 6x6 paper pads, which I am putting up videos using these up because I know we all have so many of these and we never know what to do with them. So I'm trying to help you out. I have one up as I'm taping this. I have one up and then one is currently uploading. So maybe by the time this goes up, there should be two. So I'll link those down below. You should definitely check those out. These are 8x8 and 8.5x11 paper pads. These are all file folders, so just the good old basic ones, and then some, pretty patterned ones too. Whenever I see them on clearance, I pick them up because I like the heavier cardstock. So underneath that is printer paper. This is packing material from Michael's orders that I love to use, so that's here. Photo paper, any kind of, I don't know, just like regular, I don't know how to explain it. There's onion skin in here, vellum, just cardstock, I guess. Random stuff that I pick up at the Goodwill where I don't even know what kind of paper it is. But it looks cool. Like this is just like some cream. These are all 12x12 papers. These are more like, these are like the patterned paper 12x12s. I have them stacked up like this, and then I can just pull them out to see, what I want to use. So they're all just down here, which is nice. And I do have a couple back here in large bags that if they were like kits or if they had stickers and stuff that went with it, I put it there. These are 12x12s that are solid color, so I keep those separate, as well as coffee dyed 12x12s, and all my coffee dyed paper basically is right here, doilies and all that. Next to that, here's my basin for watercolor and some fabric, just fabric cutoffs really. Underneath that, card bases, Spellbinders Platinum, and my Cricut above there, and I just keep my mat for my Cricut there. Up top, books. Over here I just have Rubbermaid bins. I keep my neutral fabrics separate from my colored fabrics. These are mostly laces and then trims in those two up there. So I showed you in my walkthrough my scrap bins. That's what those are. I keep them separated by size, or I try to get as close to my size as I can. Well, that top one is actually 4x6 photo. I think they're 4x6 photo holders. And I have these. Let me pull it down here. I have these separated. There we go. So I have these, my rings, my Tim Holtz rings, and those are separated by size, like so. That one's empty. These are envelopes, corner tucks, and pockets that are already made. Price tags, vintage price tags, some stamps. I think these are all from the Netherlands, I believe. And then these are like die cut things, right, that we get in variety packs and, the Tim Holtz die cut packs and, anything. So there's that. These are all labels. I did try to separate them. So like all the labels are together. All of the florals are together. All the birds and butterflies are together. And then the people. So those are the smaller ones. These are photo strips and the larger ones, the larger die cut cutouts. And then French stamps. So there's that. Slide her out of the way. Moving over to my desk. This old tackle box is where I keep all my washi and buttons. This is all vintage ephemera in this accordion folder. So all of my postcards are together. All of my photos and cabinet cards are here. Old envelopes with letters and things are here. This is all vintage ephemera. like tea cards or old receipts or, you know, that kind of stuff, old advertisements, that kind of thing. These are library cards, and then these are just book pages that I've kind of torn apart, so these are all just images. Into this first set, the top one is my tools, stuff that I want close at hand so that I can reach. Scissors, tools, pens, jewelry making, even though I don't use it for jewelry, I use it for charms, but that kind of stuff. Clips to hold stuff together, my rulers, my corner rounder that I always use. Everything's right here close at hand. The next drawer down is embellishments that I like to use a lot. So when I'm making a project and I have like tiny scraps, I like to put them in here so that I can make little embellishments later and so that it doesn't get lost in my scrap boxes. So there's that. These are all stickers and die cuts and things that I like to use a lot. Tags, bulb pins, safety pins, little page tabs, like those Tim Holtz page tabs. And the mini paper clips are in here. Labels, strips of like words and things. These are more labels. Circles that I use for like when I'm making envelopes and stuff. Really small images that are good for collaging. This is what I use for cards. I have like a different, what am I trying to say? Sentiments, different sentiments to put on cards. And then these are charms that are already, that, you know, they already have jump rings and they're already put together and ready to go for me to embellish with. The next drawer down are glues and punches. So this is the drawer those 3 new ones should be in, but they don't fit. So they're sitting over there for now until I can figure it out. But yeah, these are all punches. Glues that I love to use, foam tape, and then all of my extras are behind so that everything can be all together. And next one down is art stuff. So gelatos, watercolor, liquid watercolors, pan watercolors, tube watercolors, you know, yeah, it's just a bunch of art stuff. So, and the last 2 drawers aren't anything right now. That's the top, pretty self-explanatory. Project Life cards, stiff. These are finished products, you know, that I've already inked and put together and, you know, they're ready to go. So there's those. In this second set of drawers, the top is, I keep my ink up here, this little paper trimmer, my punch boards are up here, ink sponges, wax seal stuff, all of my thread and needles and stuff, that's all up here. This drawer is stickers. Why it is so full, I don't know. Because I always look at stickers and I'm like, yes, I need those. And I never use them. So who else is with me on the sticker thing? Can't stay away, but I never use them. Next one down is all of my beads that I use for making my charms. These are really nice little, let me see here, little containers. They're not the really thin ones. And this just pops off and then each one has its own lid. I have them kind of separated by, obviously by bead type and color. I have all of my metal spacers separate. And I like that it's completely clear on the top. I can really see what I'm grabbing for. So, yep, these are all charm pieces. Or not charm, but beads. This drawer is inks. Let's get that out of the way. The mat. Inks and stamps. So rubber stamps that I really like to use. Inks are here. Like the Versamark and some of the metallics. My embossing stuff is back here. These trays hold all of my mini distressed inks. I got this in the beads section at Walmart. It is for holding beads. But y'all, look. It's got a little, hold on, let me get it. It's got a little latch on the front. It's clear acrylic. It has a long space in the middle that I just keep water brushes, but these fit perfect. Absolutely perfect. I love those. So I've got 3 of those to hold all of my distress sinks. So that goes in there. Put this back. Next drawer down is charms. So these are all charms that I've already put together. How pretty are those? And I just kind of keep them separate. None of this is listed on Etsy yet, but probably should be because it's sitting in the drawer doing nothing right now, isn't it? Same here. So I have my charms by kind of group as well. These are all like stones. These are holiday, nature, leaves and animals and stuff. Letters are in here. So I kind of try to, that way if I'm working on a nature journal, I can just grab this one bag and, you know, go to town, right? So that's what all of those are. And then the bottom one is just kind of a catch-all. It has stationery sets, postcards, baggies, those magnets that we use to make our magnetic page tabs, stuff for my planner. I have a traveler's notebook and I make my own inserts. So to do all of my monthly planning, all of that stuff is down there. So it's just kind of a catch-all for me. We all need one of those drawers, right? So that is it. That is both of the drawers and the large unit. I showed you guys the book closet in the room tour video, and that one was pretty self-explanatory. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye.